Did you have to change your pod today? Brooks, do you have to change your pod?
Soon.
Okay. Good morning, Manny and Mia. Good morning, Eliza and Alexis. I assume that's, yep, both of you. There you are. Good morning, Blake. Hey, come here. Oh, he knows. He knows. Here he is. Big hoss. Big hoss. Good morning, Maverick. Good morning, Joss. I know you want to get there, big hoss, but I just wanted to say hi. Well, Blake, you might just be getting your wish today. Give it one more minute and then we'll get started. We have 3. Good morning, Dax. We have 3 animals today. Good morning, Chris and Josh. Okay. Pause. Music here. All right. You get Hank is making some strange noises. I don't know what's happening in the other room. Okay. So we're going to do 3 animals that are none of them are fish. So I think that's pretty cool. Or I guess that none of them are considered fish. Really? Well, sort of. Okay, well, I'm just going to start. So the first one is a box jellyfish. And somebody had requested jellyfish yesterday, and I love jellyfish. They're one of my favorite animals. And I think I've talked about the Monterey Bay Aquarium they have their Shark Tank live, but they also have their jellyfish cam. So if you go look at that, it's on Pacific Coast time, so it might not start for another hour. But they have a live jellyfish cam, so you can see the jellyfish in the aquarium. That's pretty neat. But the box jellyfish is called a box jellyfish because the top of it is sort of boxed shape. It doesn't have pointy edges, but it kind of looks like this. Is not as curved as some of them are. And it is extremely poisonous. And it has been labeled the most poisonous animal on the planet. And they can be fatal to humans, but they don't have a lot of contact with humans. So it's very rare that a human gets stung and dies from it, but they are very poisonous. So we stay away from them. And they eat small fish. So I didn't read though if they sting poison the fish. Oh no, I don't have a pen. Okay. Or how they eat them, or they just eat them as they're swimming. All right, so I think this is a pretty cool jellyfish. All right. So the head, or the top of it, like I said, it's not completely square, but it's definitely more of a square shape than we've done before. Okay, and then we're going to draw the little curves. Good morning, Matthew and Morgan. And then we do a second layer of the curves. And then you do the tentacles. And different from like an octopus, we know an octopus has 8 arms that come down. When it comes to the jellyfish, it's totally up to you. They have many different, not all of them are the same, and they're not all the same length. And I was making them go sort of like back and forth like this, sort of around each other. You can have some short ones, you can have some really long ones. And then we just do some little designs on it. You know, I like the spots or the dots. And a few little texture lines. And that's our jellyfish. Now, of course, if you want to add eyes or something and make it a little bit more cartoony or silly or whatever, that's fine. This one just happens to not have any. Which is odd, because I don't think any of the other ones we've ever done never had eyes. So if you want to add eyes, you can. Like if I was going to add them, I'd probably put them down here like this. Okay. Next. This one was super cute. So I was also, doing the research, seeing what lives in the coral reef, because not everything that we want to draw does. But I did look up seahorse. So I know that Blake had asked for a seahorse just now. And one that lives in the coral reef is called a pygmy or pink seahorse. And they are super tiny. They actually look like babies. They don't look like actual full-size seahorses. And they're one of the smallest seahorses in the whole world. And their average size is about 2 centimeters. So super tiny. So when I drew mine, I didn't really draw it to scale, because if I was drawing it to scale, I'd have to draw it almost so you couldn't even see any details. So I drew it a little bit bigger, but it is very tiny. And they camouflage themselves among seagrasses and corals, so therefore they're pretty brightly colored. I saw some that were like a pink, so called a pink seahorse, some that were more like an orange or coral color, with a little bit of blue. That's actually how I drew mine. I did sort of the orange. It has lots of bumps all over it, so it's a little bit different looking than a regular seahorse. That helps it camouflage, because it just kind of looks like it's part of the seagrass or the coral. So I drew my bumps on mine orange, and then I colored his body in like a light blue. So I thought that was pretty cool, because we all know blue and orange are complementary colors, so they look really good together. All right, so let's draw our pygmy seahorse. So we're going to start, he has this sort of little, almost like it looks like a beak mouth. So we'll start with that. And then we're going to start doing his head, but leave these little bumps. And then sort of has this cheek here. So we'll start it like that. So hold it here for a minute. And then you're going to keep going with sort of the bumps as you come around the back. And then the belly comes out and is going to have some more bumps on it. And then as it comes around for the tail, the bumps sort of, they're still on there, but they're more like spots. And it becomes less bumpy. What you looking for, Sammy? You don't know? Okay, so then let's give them an eye. And then we're just going to create more little bumps and spots on him. Sometimes they can be like a full circle or little bumps. Then you have your Pygmy Seahorse. And my favorite part of this was coloring it because I really liked making the different colors, like making those orange bumps and the blue. I thought that was neat. Yeah, mine is, I guess part of the top of his head is cut off. Made the jellyfish kind of prominent in the middle, and then the Pygmy Seahorse is like underneath one of the corals, like he's hiding. Right, before we go on, since he's right here. Hey, you want to say hi again? Oh, I don't know if he'll be back. Here he is. Why don't you get in the camera and say hi? I don't know if he's looking at himself or what he's doing. Oh, what do you see? You see Brooks has some waffles. Oh, did he burp just now? Can we get down? Yeah. That was funny. He was very, very serious for a few minutes. Okay. All right. So our last one, I thought this one was kind of fun. You probably wouldn't expect it. But it is a shrimp. And I saw these shrimp that are found in the coral reef, and they're usually like stripes of colors. Well, let me actually, where's my paper? There it is. They usually have red and white, or red and purple, or purple and white stripes. So where they're, we've seen a shrimp before, their tails are sort of sectioned. So where those sections are different stripes. And that, of course, helps them blend in with all the bright, colorful corals and grasses and different things in the coral reef. So when I drew mine, I made mine pretty much red and white. I pressed pretty hard sometimes with my colored pencil to get a darker red, and I lightly shaded some parts. Very similar to how I did that fish that we did yesterday, and I can't remember its name. Oh, here it is. The coelacanth. The way I did that one. So yeah, but I would suggest if you wanted to do purple, maybe I should have done purple because I don't have a lot of purple in there. But purple or red stripes or bands of color around them. So not stripes going down, but bands of color around the tail. And these shrimp are nocturnal, so they scurry around at night, and they are just pretty much scavengers. So they look for food scraps. So things that have been left behind by other animals that are maybe asleep and not out, they just scavenger around and eat everything that they can find. Yes, and the pictures of the ones I saw do not look like ones that you'd want to eat, not like our shrimp that we eat. Actually much, much prettier little creatures. But I think this one that we're doing is sort of more represents what a regular shrimp looks like. But then we can color it to look more like a coral reef shrimp. All right. So we're going to start with the head. And the head goes down sort of to this little point, and then comes back to the mouth. And I purposely did leave that spot blank. All right, and then where this blank spot is, we're going to do these little, I guess they're sort of like an antenna kind of thing, like or whisker, something. They come from their tip of their nose. They have one on each side. And then we're going to go ahead and give them an eye.